Hello beauties, welcome back to the Jolie Beauty channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get this kind of golden hour summer slay with the Golden Skies palette. It is going to have a skin focus in it. I'm going to show you my perfect summer skin using really light minimal products that are going to make you look glowing and beautiful all summer long. So if you're interested to see how I get this look, then just keep on watching. So obviously the summer slay always begins with really good skincare. So I'm just going to prep my skin before I move on to makeup. The first product I'm going to use is the Glow Skin Perfecting Elixir. This is so good at getting you that lit from within glow, and you can use it all over your face, but I also like to use a little bit on my body as well, especially in the summertime. It just gives that gorgeous kind of holiday feel to your skin. Sometimes I've been known to even put it like on my legs when I'm wearing a skirt or shorts, and it just gives your skin this beautiful sheen. I'm just going to do the same with the Glow Bright Eyes. This has been formulated especially to go underneath makeup and underneath your eyes, especially in the sun and the heat. We can get a little bit dehydrated and our makeup can start to separate and crack. This will just keep all the skin really plumped up underneath your concealers and powders and make sure that they don't settle into any fine lines. Just always take that on a ring finger and place it underneath the eyes in patting motions, and just be really gentle here that you don't pull or stretch the skin. Some of the ingredients in this are things like hyaluronic acid and vitamin E, and these just really help to plump up those fine lines or those creases if they occur under makeup. That's my skincare done. Let's move on to the eyeshadow. Today I'm going to be using the aptly named Golden Skies palette to create a really gorgeous golden look. I can imagine this on holiday, just, you know, that sunset golden hour type feel. I'm not going to use too many shades. I'm going to make it really simple so you can get this look really quickly and easily when you just want something to throw on that's going to give you that glowing look. First of all, I'm going to be using the La Viva Gel Brow, and I'm just going to pop this through my brows, putting the product in upward motions because I really want a bushy looking brow, and this will give me that effect. A little bit too bushy at the minute. I need to go and have them threaded, please. Please open back up soon.
I'll do it for you.
No, you won't. Next up, I'm taking the Urban Decay. Sounds like a fancy perfume. Urban Decay. Next up, I'm taking the Urban Decay Brow Blade. This is the felt tip side and it's in the shade Brown Sugar. And I'm lightly going to go through my brows. I'm not actually adding that much denseness. I want this to be quite a light, summery, feathery brow. So we don't want anything too heavy. I'm just concentrating it in the areas where I've got a little bit more sparseness than the rest. So for me, it's underneath this portion here. And on my tail, I'm just gonna make them a little bit straighter, so I'm filling in my arch as well, and that will literally do. I don't want anything too crazy, just a tiny little bit of filling in there. Next, I'm taking the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. This is in, I think it's in a light brown shade, brunette it's in. And this is just to give my brows a little bit more definition. So the first one was to create a little bit of hold, and this one's actually going to add like a little bit of colour, and what it will do, it will pick up on all those little invisible blonde hairs that you actually do get when you're in the sun, so it's quite a good product to use in the summertime. And it'll just add that little bit of definition to the brow without actually needing you to fill them in, making the most of your natural brows, which is what this look is all about. It's about enhancing all those natural features. So today I'm not going to use an eye base. If it's very hot and it's in the summertime, this might be a little bit too much for some people and it might lead to creasing. So what I'm going to do instead is just take a little bit of my concealer, and I'm just going to use my Base Blend sponge and just neutralize the eye, ready for shadow. So the concealer I'm using today is the Jouer. This is the Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer, and I'm using the shade Creme Brulee, and I'm just putting the tiniest couple of dots on. Don't put on too much of this because it will crease as well. But what I like about this concealer is it's got a little bit of like a self-setting function that you don't really need powder to set it. So it's pretty good for eyelids, or, you know, if you don't want to put too much powder on, because I will be using this as my under eye concealer as well. And I'm just tapping that in with my base blend sponge, which we will be using for this face today. It is a new product for Jolie Beauty, so I do want to show you all how to use it. And I just have to put a bit more on my inner corner because hell, they are dark today. They are dark. Someone has been napping a bit too much, taking those quarantine naps a little bit too far. Now that's nice and neutralized, we're ready for shadows. So if you've watched a few of my videos, you'll know that when I don't use an eye base and I'm doing quite a soft look, I like to go in with the lightest colors first, which is reverse to how I'd normally do it with brights. So I'm going in with my fluffiest brush first, and then I'm going to take the shade Warmth, and I'm popping this all into my crease. This is a gorgeous orangey terracotta shade, perfect for tanned skin, and also looks really nice on darker skin tones as well. And I'm taking this quite far on the inner here as well. I really like this deepened part of the eye, like when I'm doing summery looks. I just think it looks really nice to create a little bit of shadow on this inner corner as well, and I do like to blend it out onto the outer of my eye too. Next up, I'm taking my slightly smaller fluffy brush and I'm going in with the shade Soulful, tapping my excess off the brush, and I'm just placing that underneath where I put down the shade Warmth. This is a more intense orange, so it should blend beautifully into that colour very easily. Just use the softest blending motions possible, and again, just a little bit out. We are going to be winging this out and cleaning it up, so don't worry about being too neat here. I want to make this look really nice and simple for you guys, so you know, don't take too much time here. Just get the colours blended into one another, and then we're going to move on to the next shade. It's simple because not everybody's got a million hours to get ready on holiday, and the point being on holiday is to relax and not get too stressed, but you also want to look good, so I think this is the look. Next, I'm taking the shade Deepen. This is a purple based brown, and when you put like a purple based brown with orange, it just looks so sickening together, almost like you're trying to do a sunset, but it's not an obvious sunset. So I'm going to take this and I'm patting this on the outer corner and into the crease, just to give that some extra definition, and blending it into that soulful shade. As I always say, go back into the last shade that you used and blend back into it, and just wiggle, 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 wiggle. Isn't that right, Loki? Sorry, Loki's just having a little nose around the studio. I'm highly suspicious of him still. He's still not at the age where he can be left to his own devices. Once you've got that all blended out, it's time for a little bit of shimmer. I'm going to be using the shade Journey out of this palette, which is a gold, it's like a gold glittery pigment, so it's almost like a pressed pigment. And I'm just going to take my finger with this, again on holiday, not so much time, let's just get it on your face, and I'm going to concentrate this in my inner corner, and I'm going to pat it on with my finger, concentrating it right on the inner, and I'm slowly going to blend it to the midway point on my eye here, just fading it into the other colours. I normally like to get the fade right first and then go in with a little bit more and push it, oh, that's a bit too much, and then push it right into your eye so you're blind for the rest of your holiday. That's like something that would happen to me probably. And just really concentrating it on that inner corner. If you have some extra time, you want to get it even more concentrated, you can use the Uniglow Mythical Mist on a flat brush. Ooh, pop it into the pigment, and this will make it even more metallic. You see as I'm putting that on now, how much more densely it's going on, and it just makes it really metallic and lovely. If you've gone a little bit too far with your pigment, you can go in with the shade Soulful again and just dust over it there to blend it back in, and just do it so it's your preference. The most important thing is that it ends on a similar level on each eye, so when you've got your eyes shut they look even. Next, I'm going in with that very special gel liner that I mentioned in my last video, which, guys, I am so stoked about. If you know anything about me, it's that I am a fusspot when it comes to gel liner. I feel like this one has been in the making for quite some time. Excited to show you, and obviously I've been testing it like a maniac. Does it work over shimmers? Does it work over mattes? Does it work over glitters? Does it stay in the eye? Does it transfer? Like all these different things until we've got the formula exactly how I want it. So that will be coming very, very soon. And if you're like me and you have the most watery eyes in the world, you will appreciate this one for sure. I am going to be going over this with a little bit of shadow as well, because I don't actually like the look of too crisp a line in these kind of summer looks. It looks quite nice to have it a little bit smoky. So taking an angled liner brush, I'm just taking a little bit of the shade of Blackout, and I'm going over that gel liner just to set it into place. In the summer, sometimes products can move, though I assure you this liner won't budge. And I'm just gonna smoke out that wing a little bit just by pushing a little bit of black shadow over the top and smudging it. And again, I'm just doing my trademark at this point. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And just pushing it in. I feel like I definitely need to trademark the wiggle, 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 don't I? Keep saying it, but yeah. So before I move on to the rest of the eye, I'm going to clean up with a little bit of concealer. I'm going to use the same Jolie concealer again, but I've got a very exciting demo because I'm going to be using the new Base Blend sponge. If you follow Jolie Beauty, you'll know that this is one of our newest launches, and I couldn't be more excited about it. We struggled so hard to find a sponge material that we liked enough to make this sponge. First of all, let me show you the shape of the sponge and then it all makes sense. So as you can see from the shape, this is a very unusual cut of sponge. It's got two flat surfaces on the sides and then a little flat surface on the tip. And it also has that rounded sponge shape that you're all used to on the bottom. So the idea for the sponge was that you would be able to do a full face of makeup really, really easily using just the sponge. We felt like some of the sponges on the market at the moment didn't allow enough precision for our liking. So we wanted to get something that was super soft, but also really structured, which believe me, was a challenge, but we definitely got there with this sponge. It is the most flexible, softest sponge, yet it's got all these amazing features, which I'll show you now when I'm doing the skin after we finish the eyes, that allows you to get really up in there, really precise, and will change your base game, making it quicker and more simple than ever. The amazing thing about the Base Blend sponge as well is it's only $7.99 compared to the £17 blenders that are out there. This is an absolute steal. So if you think about it, if you're buying a £17 sponge, that is quite a lot of money to spend on sponges a year. So to have an affordable, high quality option is super important. Talking about changing your sponges, we have also set up a subscription service for our sponges. That means you can get your blenders delivered every 1, 2 or 3 months depending on your preference. So going into the Jouer, obviously this is a summer look, so I want the concealer to be quite soft. I don't want too much on because I want my skin to be able to breathe. So I'm just going to place a few dots where I need it the most. And taking the sponge, I'm just going to show you how precisely this can blend. So I'm just patting that concealer, and when I'm getting to that cat eye line that I've created, I'm just going to press the sponge in up against it and cut in that concealer. And you can see just how precise that sponge has got that line, making it so easy for you to clean up any look or create more precision in your makeup, but in such a quick and easy way. Before, I would have to take a carving brush and carve that line out. Now I can just do all that work with my sponge. These wing looks are coming back in at the minute, so there's a lot of people that need to like clean up this outer corner, and if you just use the top of that sponge, it will do all the work for you, which saves so much time, believe me. Just popping back to the eyes, I'm going to do the under eye. So I'm just taking the shadows that I've used on top underneath. Loki doesn't like that, did you hear him sigh? He's bored of Mommy's makeup tutorials. He's like, Mommy, come on, you could be playing with me. So I'm just taking an angled brush and I'm just taking the shade Blackout I'm just using a touch of this under the eye. I'm not using a lot because I want the look to be quite light. Then I'm taking a smudging brush and a touch of deepen. And I'm just going to blend that out with a little bit of Soulful all the way underneath. Quickly curling my lashes. Back to these torture devices. I actually curled Saul's lashes earlier. He loved it. He was like, oh, this is so relaxing having your eyelashes pulled out of your eye. And I'm popping on a little bit of mascara. This is the Essence Lash Princess, and I'm just going to coat the top and the bottom with this. And just popping a bit of highlighter in my inner corner. To complete the eyes, I'm just going to pop on a pair of our wispy lashes. These are in the style of Vivian. These style are one of my ultimate favourites for that elongated kind of cat eye. They start off really skinny on the inner corner and they taper out to a nice longer lash on the outer corner. These are quite dramatic, but they're not very dense. So if you want to try like a longer lash, but you don't want anything too crazy, these are a perfect style to try out. And once I've allowed that to dry a little bit, I go in from the top onto my lash line. And they just go on as easy as that. So next is on to the fun stuff, the skin. I'm so excited to show you how to use this blender. Today we're going to be doing a nice light summer skin, so I'm going to be doing mainly cream products. So I've already put that concealer underneath my eyes, so next is on to base. Today I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation, and this is in the shade Latte, which is the shade 3N 1.5. I think for my skin colour I could have gone for the warmer kind of shade, especially for me in the summer, but I was a little bit concerned because it looked quite yellow and orangey online, and I was trying to match it up from a swatch and shade chart, and it did look really, really yellow. So this is okay, but I will have to warm it up, but I'm going to show you how to do that with the cream products that I'm going to use next. So make sure your skin is prepped like I did with the Uni Glow. And I'm just going to dot a couple of spots of this foundation around my face, concentrating on the places that I really need it. And that is mainly on my cheek areas. I am an acne sufferer, so I do get a lot of red marks from where my spots have been, and they take quite a long time to heal on me, so I get a lot of discoloration around here, and around my nose area as well is somewhere that I suffer, so I like to cover that up. The trick is with summer skin is don't go too crazy with your foundation, honestly, because you don't need all that much coverage to get a flawless effect, and this sponge is just going to do all the work for you. So you can see just how amazing that is at like blending it in. And it's done. I like shock myself every time I do it. I'm like, has it really gone in, has it gone into the skin? Oh, it's gone into the skin, baby. It is gone into the skin. And this is what makes this routine so fast and so easy, especially for those summer nights where you just want to get onto your gin and tonics. Or those summer days where, you know, you just want to get out and about. You don't want to spend a lot of time on your makeup. Always make sure to take a little bit of foundation down your neck as well, because that really helps to create a flawless base. When we were creating the sponge, we wanted a really big, bulbous end to it, because we wanted to give you guys as much coverage as possible, as fast as possible. Because the other side is so precise, you can do all your small precision work with this side. So it doesn't really matter how big this is. And obviously, the bigger the sponge is, the faster you can blend. So it really helps you just get that makeup on in the morning, in the evening, at any time. So I think that is just maybe half a pump of foundation, and you can see how easily it's covered all my imperfections and flaws without making me look cakey or over made up at all. And that's just thanks to a good blender and just a good foundation that matches you pretty well as well. In the summer, I don't really like to contour. I like to use my bronzer as a contour. I really like this bronzing stick by Milk Makeup. There's two ways that you could use this to warm up your face. You can either pop it onto your sponge, or you can put it directly onto your face and then blend it out. I'm going to put it on my face and blend it out with the sponge because I want you to see how I'm blending it into the skin. So as I said, I kind of double this up as bronzer and contour. So I put it in the normal places that I want to draw back, which for me, I like to make my forehead a little bit thinner. Obviously, I want to make my cheeks more sculpted and give a little bit warmth back to my face to give that kind of holiday glow. So I'm just actually going to pop this on my cheek, not underneath, like actually on my cheek. I like to put a little bit at the end of my nose, a little bit underneath my lip, and I like to bring it along my chin just to give that a little bit of shape as well. Then taking my sponge, now I'm going to use the flat side of the sponge. And what I like to do is take it and pull the cream product up. Now what this will do is it will make sure that you're not blending on this line down into this area here. If I put too much dark here, this is going to like drag my face down. So by having that precision on the sponge, it means I can really focus on putting those products upwards, and it means that I don't have to worry so much about like trying to contour because the sponge is doing the work for me. The same on my forehead. If I use that flat bit, I can direct the product where I want it. So it means I can make a really nice gradient between the middle colour that I've got here, the lightest part, into a mid-tone, into the darkest point. And that's just going to give you such dimension. So if you look at my forehead now, it just looks like there's a lot of dimension to the skin. And that's really important because, you know, when you're putting all these base shades on, it can make you look a little bit flat and dull. So this just gives you that shape back into your face without having to contour. And just do the same on the other side, pulling that bronzer upwards on that flat side, and making sure not to go too low. And just on the underneath the chin, blending along the jawline. And don't forget the nose, guys. Although in the summer, I don't like to do a full contour, I have a little trick that helps make me look a little bit more sculpted without adding any like dark lines or powders to the skin. And that's by going in with my concealer again. So taking the Jouer concealer, what I like to do is something called reverse contour, where I literally map out underneath where I've just put that bronzer, just to resharpen my cheekbones. I like to put a little bit on my chin to lighten it up as well. Tiny bit on my forehead, and a little bit
Simba.
If you want a more dramatic look, then you can use a much brighter concealer. I've just been really into sticking to ones that are more around my natural shade at the moment. And the Beauty with the blender, yet again, lay it on its side. And look, if you wanted to create like a really sharp contour here, then this sponge is so perfect for that. Look how close I can get to that line. But alternatively, if you want a softer look, you can use the other end and blend it in like that. And then when it comes to more precise work, like on your forehead or down your nose, you can use that tip again. Honestly, this sponge is so precise. If you wanted to, you could carve out your eyebrows on the top like this. I used to have to use such a precise brush for that, but this sponge has solved all those problems. And just doing the center of my nose. And if you just want to blend it all together with that side, then be my guest, because it is hella satisfying. Okay, enough. I kind of like the sponge, okay? I am going to add a tiny little bit of powder underneath my eyes. I'm just going to use the Laura Mercier brightening powder. I'm not going to use too much of this. This is just going to make sure that my concealer just stays in place. I'm just going to pop it.
What product are you using to apply that, Jolie?
I might be using my sponge.
Really?
I'm just saying.
Just
I think I might just use. Can I do a full face just using my sponge? The answer is yes. Yes, I can.
you can cook bloody dinner with that sponge.
I don't think I've got a more used product, but that's all I'm going to do for powders today. I like to let the skin breathe. So for blush today, I've been trying out a new product. This is the Revolution Pro Blush and Lift. So this is basically like a cream blusher, but it comes in a little tube with a spoolie like this. Not too sure on the feeling of this. I don't know if any of you guys have tried it. but it's kind of minty and it makes my skin tingle. So not too sure about that. Pretty sure that is gonna break me out at some point, but for the sake of the video, I do like this color. So I'm just gonna pop that onto my cheeks, and because obviously I haven't powdered, this is gonna sit over the top pretty well. And you guessed it, I'm just gonna go in with my sponge and just dab that in. It gives a nice kind of natural flush to the cheeks. I quite like this colour. It's like quite a like dusty rosy colour. It's nice. And I do like to take this a little bit on my nose in the summer as well. Kind of just brings the face together and gives it like that like you've kind of been sitting in the sun all day. Look, I think it's really pretty. To top off the look, I'm just adding a few faux freckles. I'm using the Perfectly Sculpted Contour palette, and I'm just using the two darkest shades. Freckles always have a variation of colours, so by using the two shades on a brush and just tapping them into the skin, this allows really good looking faux freckles. And for the lips, I always think gloss looks so gorgeous in the summer, so I'm just topping off the lips with the shade Diamond Talk from Jouer. To completely finish the look and give me that complete summer glow, I'm just going to mist a little bit of our Uniglow Mythical Mist all over my face. Oh, this just makes your skin look so glowy and beautiful, and it just helps all those products kind of merge into one another and sit on the skin, and it's just damn refreshing in the summertime as well. And I'm awaiting for that delivery, guys, because look how low my Mythical Mist is. So that's the final look, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial and the focus on the skin this time. A bit different, doing a little bit of a creamy summer look. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the video. Give us a big thumbs up and make sure that you've hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I always love to hear your suggestions as well. So if there's something that you're itching for me to film, make sure you pop it in the comments so I can see. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.